everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP Chat. If you don't know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current work in progress, or WIP, and this is the Besties of Oz from Diamond Art Dreams by Sherri. And then you work on whatever it is that you want to be working on. It can be another craft project, it can be a house project. You can have me on in the background while you're doing household chores, driving to work, at work, avoiding work. No right way or wrong way to WIP Chat. I will tell you, my daughter is very much awake, even though she knows that we will do an art project if she sleeps. Those were her requests. So hopefully that loud banging and shrieking will die down. And my husband is very much in the room. Say hi, husband.
Hello.
So you guys may hear him. He is working on some work stuff. So I think that's it. So I have my kit here, as I mentioned, and this is my entry for the Oz in Aug, event. Ooh. I will make sure to link my unboxing for this up in the eye. I have completed the bottom section of the Scarecrow, the Tin Man. This is Dorothy, and then the Cowardly Lion is over here. This image is so freaking cute, you guys. I can't get over it. But I don't know what you guys... Yeah, so I have... These are all the colors left in this section here, I think. I don't know. Do you guys pull out, like, more than one color at a time? Let me know. But I am working on this little section here. Who knows? I'll probably finish this before the hour's up. I'll say that and I'll get, like, nowhere near done. But yeah, so how are you guys all doing? I normally would have recorded this yesterday, and put this up already. Today, when I'm recording it, it is Monday. I normally record my WIP Chats on Sunday, and then I have them scheduled to go up Monday. But let me tell you, this weekend was busy, busy, busy in the best way possible, and I'll talk about all of that. But I had one of those days yesterday where we did so much and it was so exhausting, again, in a good way, that by the time it was like, let's sit down and record, I was like, going to bed, bye. I honestly don't know who went to bed first, me or my child, if that tells you how early I went to bed. So, I hope that you guys all had a fantastic weekend. I feel like I probably need to reload my pen because I'm stabbing multiple times. Speaking of pens, this is a pen from Kevin's Kreations. If I remember to, I will link it all down below. This is a wooden pen. He does wooden, resin, and hybrid pens. And then my tray is from Munimade. And I am using my little wax gem from Pretty Placers. You guys, I love this. I love the way it smells. I love the way it looks. I love it. I did an unboxing, oddly enough, of that, and I never posted it. So maybe one day it's just sitting in my queue. I just never publish it. I don't know why. So maybe that'll give me the motivation to do that. So if you guys are watching this in the future and you're like, Lindsay, I saw you unbox that, then just disregard that entire conversation. So anyway, we had an eventful week. We are still on our second summer break. For those who don't know, my kiddo is 3, and we get our therapy services through the school district, but she is not in a classroom setting. We did not get accepted into the preschool program. We are waitlisted, so there is a possibility we will get in. If we do, I couldn't tell you when. If it happens, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, we are just sitting on the wait list with Lord knows how many people. So Monday, we went to take her to visit her grandpa. And every single time we go out there, she has this little Mickey Mouse toolkit, if you will. It's this plastic bucket that has the helmet. The construction helmet has Mickey ears, but it's also the lid of the bucket. And inside it has like a plastic wrench and all these, pretend tools. I wanted to call them fake tools, but I guess they're not fake tools. They're just pretend. And every time we go to his house, every single time, the first thing she wants to do is pull out that bucket and fix, in major air quotes, the stationary bike that my father-in-law has. And And he is more than happy to oblige and fix it with her every single time. It is the sweetest thing. I just love watching that. And then we ended up going to Friendly's that night for dinner, which we hadn't been to Friendly's in a very, very long time. We got some ice cream. It was, you know, mediocre at best, but sometimes you just want something fried and some ice cream. But it was a lovely day. She loves going out to see her grandfather. He's got cows and kitties, and she'll tell you that literally every time she talks about him. Grandpa has cows and kitties on his farm. And for anyone who is curious, he raises beef cattle. He does not slaughter. But yeah, that was a fun day. We watched some of the Olympics at his house. It was the synchronized pairs for swimming. And my daughter took one look at them and was like, what the? I thought she'd be interested in it. And she was a little creeped out. I mean, in defense, synchronized swimming takes an insane amount of coordination and practice, and I'm not taking that away from them. And I am by no means an Olympic level athlete. Like, I guess I'm not really that athletic anymore, but even in my heyday of doing sports, I was never that kind of athlete. And they just look like robots. Like, they do. They look like robots in person farm. Like, what was that show in the 80s? Small Wonder? Is that what that was? Oh, I think that's what it's called. If you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know down below. But, I just aged myself, I'm sure. But it was funny because she just was like, what the? But they must use some crazy level of hair product and makeup, because how are you underwater for that long and not a single hair on your head moves? Your makeup is perfect. I swear I wear the wrong mascara, which I don't really wear mascara much anyway, but I wear the wrong one and I get like tears, and now I've got makeup streaming down my face. So, you know, it's also one of those things. I wonder how people get into some of the, I don't want to say lesser known, but some of the other sports.
They're really
like
good at finishing other people's sentences. They're like, oh, they're good at that. They're probably really good at
maybe. So if you guys hear that hairdryer sound in the background, it's my husband. He's using a heat gun, which, can I tell you, his favorite thing in the whole wide world is using a heat gun on the 3rd floor when it's hot as balls. Although today doesn't feel terrible up here quite yet. That could always change. I feel like I have pulled out this color multiple times, which is probably accurate.
Actual and factual.
Yep. So that was our Monday. And then Tuesday is our regular skating day. And I want to say we're in a new session, or a new session recently started. I don't know. So when I say that we're in a new session, like, they literally run sessions year round. They're for X amount of weeks. They vary, but usually between 6 and 8 weeks. And then once that session is done, the next one immediately starts. So you can just keep signing up, or you can just do some and not the others. But my kid has been in multiple lessons. She's done multiple lessons now, and the whole class was on the line now, which, if you have been around for any length of time here, you've heard me talk about my daughter's ice skating. And when I say she's on the line, that means she got promoted from the I'm just learning how to stand on skates and move forward and fall safely to the I actually have a little bit of skill now. And the last time she was put on the line, she was like, nope, and took herself off the line, went back over to her other instructor, was like, I'm with you now. And I'm like, that's not how this works, Briar. You can't just leave your lesson to go skate with the other teacher. And she does that because she gets more one-on-one attention, but the other teacher also, like, fawns all over her. She adores Briar. They both do, but the one is definitely more gushy about it. It's a weird word to use to describe gushy, which makes me think of Gushers, which I didn't like Gushers. Did you like Gushers? You. My husband's giving me a meh look.
I can never have Gushers again and not be upset.
Yeah, me too. They have kind of a weird texture. They're like that soft gummy that sticks to your teeth, but not like gummy bear kind of gummy.
That's the worst. Old gummy bears.
Old gummy bears? Oh. We have gone off on such a tangent, you guys.
They're like chewing on plastic.
Well, I feel like a lot of gummy bears are like chewing on plastic.
Nah, fresh ones?
So if you guys have never seen, this is my go-to method for cleaning out those cheap plastic tweezers. A lot of them come in like special kits. I use that to just dig out the old wax, especially in the metal tips. Like I've got a metal single and a metal multi-placer on this pen, also from Kevin's Kreations. Listen, if you guys are seeing me using a pen, 99% of them are going to be from Lazy River and Kevin's Kreations. Just filled that up and I don't need that color anymore. I'm at that point of the canvas, like of this section, that I don't have like a whole lot left to do. But I have just enough to be annoying with every color, you know what I mean? So yeah, we did that on Tuesday. We went skating and then we went to, I don't know if you guys have a Second and Charles near you, but we have them here. I think they're a chain. I could be wrong, but they are almost, they're not a consignment shop. They buy and sell
like a
used.
pawn shop.
Yeah, but it's only a certain things.
Right.
They buy and sell like media. So you could have like DVDs, or I'm sure they have VHS, but video games, things like that. But they have a lot of what I lovingly refer to as like nerd culture. So you will find a lot of your comic books, your graphic novels, things like that will be there. But then they also have tons of books. Like I would say half of that store is just a bookstore. And you can get books because they buy books used and then they sell them. You can get especially kids books for $2, $3. So we have gotten her quite a few books there. And like they don't just put like crappy condition books out on the shelf. Like I don't think they'll take in a book that looks like it's been through the ringer. I've never tried to donate or sell, but it's really cool, and it gives us the opportunity to let her pick out what she wants, because if she picks something and it has one of those higher price tags, we can kind of redirect her. So we picked up a couple books. She's super into Paw Patrol right now, which is hilarious to me because she's, like, when I tell you guys, she's seen 2 episodes of this show. She knows everything about everyone. And I'm like, how do you know all of this? And today she said something to my husband about the Wildcats. And to tell you how much we've never seen the show, we are both like, what the hell is a Wildcat? Turns out it's a cat. I think it's a good guy. If you guys have kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews that are into Paw Patrol and you know who the Wildcat is or cats are, I don't know. Let me know down below. We're back in the sparkly tumbler. I have a metal straw in there today, so if you guys hear that clanking around, I need to empty the dishwasher. I have really cool reusable plastic straws, and they totally snap apart so that you can clean them, because even if you use like a brush to clean your straws, your reusable straws, like you can still miss stuff, and because it's small opening, sometimes they can be super gross. So I got these straws. I think they're called rain straws. They snap together, but I put a couple of them in the dishwasher. I also, fun fact, always have in my big diaper bag reusable straws. And not because I'm one of these people that's out here like campaigning to save the universe and the planet, which, like, let's save the planet. That's great. But a lot of restaurants will give you a kid's cup of water, juice, milk, whatever. You know, those tiny, tiny little cups are probably 8 ounces, 12 ounces. And then they give you a straw that is twice as long as the cup, and they don't bend. Now, I know there are people out there who need plastic straws because of disability reasons and things like that, and I'm not here to jump on that bandwagon. But what I am saying is, if you are a restaurant and you are selling kids' drinks, you cannot have a straw that is bigger than the cup. For little kids, what they'll do is they'll hold the cup like this, and then they'll put the straw in, and they'll lean as much as they can, and then the cup goes like this and spills everywhere. So I always have a couple metal straws that are bent, which those don't work super great in a lot of restaurant cups. but I always have at least one silicone straw that is completely flexible, that even if it is as big as those plastic straws, she can still bend it and get out of it exactly what she needs without spilling it everywhere. Because I remember the first time she did that at a restaurant that didn't have a cup or a straw the right size, she spilled all over herself, and then she was so upset. And I was like, you didn't do anything wrong, sweetheart. But she didn't understand that because she was little. And if they have ones that have bendy straws, like, that's great. Like, when we went to Friendly's, they had those straws that, like, 90% of it was bendy. Of course, I made a really cool shape out of it and then snapped a hole in mine. So, you know, there's that. But, yeah, we did that. And then she picked up a little My Little Pony plush, which, if you saw my story on Instagram last week trying to figure out the name, listen, I am not one of those people that is a huge My Little Pony person. I grew up with, like, the original cartoon in the 80s. There have been so many iterations of that show and, like, the toys that they have for it. And I swear every single one of them is an offshoot name of the next one. Like, they all have the word sparkle or sprinkle or twilight or something celestial in it. It's like, oh my gosh, can you make them a little bit more distinguishable from...
Do you think their name should be Tony?
Yeah.
Tony the fucking sparkly...
Yeah, of course. I don't know. It's just, it's impossible to keep track. And then even after I found out which one it was, I couldn't remember. Because it was like, is it Sparkle Twilight or Twilight Starlight? Like, they're so confusing. Anyway, so we did that. And then we picked out a couple books. And we had a really good time. And then my husband went out with a couple of his friends that evening. So I got stuck putting the baby to bed, which Mommy and Daddy put the kid to bed totally differently. Mommy basically, like, goes, okay, good night, as I tuck her in and, like, walk out the door. My husband sits in the rocking chair with her. They watch pizza review videos. They hang out. They recap their day. And I'm like, I want to get in and out, like, literally as quickly as possible. So clearly we know which one she prefers. But yeah, we did that. That was nice. And then the next day we went to Staples. Now, if you guys don't know, my husband is the DaddaMonster. All of his information is actually always linked in my description box. He has his own YouTube channel, so definitely go support him. He does his own WIP Chats over there as well. But if you like pop-related content, he also has that in addition. And then he's got a Q&A video that's supposed to be going up at some point. And, you know, he tends to put out, like, what? Like, one video a week kind of thing right now?
I try to. It's been about 2 weeks now.
But,
I've just been swamped with orders.
I know. I understand. I totally understand. My husband has a million orders, and I'm telling you, every time we go out of town, he gets a bunch of orders, and that happened this week as well. But, so he gets his boxes. He creates custom Funko Pops, and he creates the box completely from scratch. He has a template that he uses, but you can, like, put photos of the person or the character or whoever you're getting a box of, and you can do, like, all these cool things with it. And then he prints them out on this thicker cardstock, and then he cuts them out, assembles them, and then puts your pop inside and ships it to you. So we were there, and what he does is, if you guys need to print anything at Staples, if you send it to them in advance, they don't put any kind of rush fee on it, even though you're literally walking inside and getting it printed. He also has a really good working relationship with the staff at Staples, and currently in our local Staples here where we live, he is one of 3 local businesses that is featured that does business with Staples, and it has all of his information, how to get a hold of him, how to make a purchase, all that stuff in their store. So that's super, super cool. But I'm on the phone with his mom while he's inside, and then he comes back outside, and all of a sudden we just hear, and we're like, oh my God, is that Briar? And turns out she discovered the art of the hand fart. And when I tell you guys, this was by far one of the most entertaining car rides ever. They were so loud. I don't know how else to describe it. It made us laugh like crazy. And she just kept doing it over and over and over again. Now, granted, my kid does think farts are hilarious. She thinks it's funny when daddy farts. She thinks it's funny when she farts. Just farting is just funny to her. But they were so loud that we were like, what is she doing? Also, if you guys can hear her in the background, she's attempting to sing Pup Pup Boogie from Paw Patrol, but it sounds like she goes, Pup Pup Boogie, Pup Pup Boogie. I don't know, but that's what she's doing. So, if you're wondering, like, what the hell that noise is in the background, that's just her. It's always her. You guys, well, I shouldn't say always. It's almost always her. So, take another sip of water real quick.
Sometimes me.
Oh, man, I am parched. I am very thirsty. So then Friday, we had a special little day, just me and her. I took her to get her first... Why did I pull this color out? Mani-pedi. Did I really just pull out a color I don't need?
Yes.
I might have. Or, in the case of the missing drill, literally one. Guys, I just needed one of that color, so that was fast. Anyway, we went and got mani-pedis. And I did it. We've painted her nails at home. And when I say like we, I mean like literally we. We've both painted her nails. For anyone who saw the blue nails that we had in support of World Airway Disorders Day, or anyone who participated and contributed in that, thank you. My husband actually often helps paint my nails for me because I, not unlike many other people, can only do the one hand well, and then the other hand looks like my 3-year-old did it. Oh my god, I'm like losing my mind over here. But anyway, so I let her pick out her own nails, and then I let her pick out mommy's nails, and she picked out this like fuchsia magenta pink, and then they put a sparkly top coat over it. They were like, does she want gel nails? And I was thinking like, no, I'm not paying for gel nails for my kid who will destroy them in one day. By the way, she is missing 3 fingernails by now. Well, paint. The nails are still there. She still has nails, you guys. I don't know why, but she always chews on like 2 of her fingers. So I don't know if she's getting a molar or if it's sensory related or what. But she has been chewing specifically on 2 fingers for a while now. Anyway, so we did that. And then she picked out mine. And I will insert the photo here of the 2 of us with our little matching nails. But she picked out a like dusty rose. It looks much browner in camera. It's very like mauve in person for me. And then I always do silver on my toes in case anyone was curious. For my fingernails, I usually prefer, I'm sure this won't be a surprise to many of you, really dark, like black, dark purple, dark navy, super dark green. Like I love the dark colors. And now that we're one step closer to fall, like I guess it's a little bit more socially acceptable. Not that I've ever let social norms dictate what I do or don't do with my fingernails,
So
but
edgy.
yeah. If you guys didn't know, my husband and I met at Hot Topic. But anyway, so we got our manicure and pedicure, and it was funny. I brought sandals with her, but I couldn't find her little flip-flops that she has. So I just put her in sandals, and the woman was unbuckling them, and I said, they look almost like Birkenstocks, and I was like, you can just slide her foot in, they're fine. But because of where the strap was, they couldn't get to her toes. So they were like, well, you'll just have to carry her out to the car. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, you know what sounds really good? Let me carry a flailing toddler while I have wet nails. But we went outside, and I texted my husband. It was only a few minutes away from our house. So he dropped us off. He ran a couple of his errands, and then he came and picked us back up. But by the time he was at home, ready to, like, when we texted him, he had just sat down to relax. So sorry, bad timing. But we were sitting outside of the Subway, and my daughter's like, "Can we go in?" And I was like, "No." She's like, I want to eat." She's never eaten at Subway in her life. I don't even know if she knew what Subway was. I mean, she certainly knows nothing about eating fresh, but she's a trip. So we did that. It was so much fun. And it was really good to have like bonding time, just me and her. And it's not like, you know, I don't spend any time with my child, or our time is always spent together, but it's good for each child to spend, for every child to spend time with all of their parents, you know. So my husband would love to do something with her. It's a little bit harder with, you know, COVID and stuff like that to do a lot of individual stuff, but she was really good, surprisingly. Not that I don't expect my child to be mediocrely behaved, but that's a really long time to sit and wait. And then you have to sit and like let your hands dry and stuff like that. And they kept telling her, you have to put your hands on your knees to let them dry. And she'd be like, okay. And then she put her hands right through her hair. It didn't ruin her hair or anything, but I'm pretty sure that it ruined the polish, which, whatever, I didn't care. I wasn't going because I needed her to be classy. I went because I wanted her to have a fun experience. And she loved it. And like, even if my husband was like, I'll take you to get a manicure and a pedicure, she'd be like, okay. Like, she would love it. She didn't care that it was me. But they had on the Olympics on one TV and then like weird fails on the other. It was some random channel I had never seen or heard of. And it was literally like watching people walking on ice and then falling on their face or like falling off their bikes. And I was like, I don't know that I really want you watching this, because every time somebody would like fall or whatever, she'd be like, are they okay? And I'm like, yes. But then she would get like overwhelmingly like worried and upset because she's got some anxiety, which is super fun. But her attention was brought back to the speed canoeing and speed kayaking, which there's some very interesting Olympic sports. I don't know if you guys are Olympic people. I typically am, although I haven't had a whole lot of Olympics this year because we don't keep the TV on during the day. But my kiddo was watching them on the boats, and she's like, what are they doing? And I wanted to be like, I have no idea, because they were like in full lunge position, just ready to go. But she loved it. It was fine. You know, she was entertained. I learned about some of those, I don't want to say offbeat, because like boating and racing is not a new thing. Like crew exists, and you know, like I know that people ride kayaks and things like that. But I didn't know that like speed kayaking was a thing. But yeah, have you guys been watching the Olympic Games? Are there any like particular sports that you're like, man, I wish that I could see this more year round? Or sports that you were like, I didn't know that was an Olympic sport. I know that they had a couple sports this game that they didn't necessarily have. Like skateboarding is newer. I don't know if that was, I think it was this Olympics that they started. Baseball only came back the last Summer Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. It's just, I like the Olympics. I'm not one of those people that watches the Olympics all day long. But it's cool to see sports that you didn't know were, like, competitive. Like, I know for me, like, I had never heard of curling until I watched Winter Olympics, however old I was. Like, that's not a sport that I have in my regular everyday conversations. It might be one you guys have, but I feel like curling is one of those sports that's meant for, like, the average person. And not to take away from the athleticism, but, like, I feel like if you have good sweeping skills and you've got good balance on ice, like, maybe try it out.
It's like the movie Dodgeball where they, like, the teams show up and there's, like, Girl Scouts.
Yes.
Just random mishmashes.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys can hear him or not because she's super loud, but, you know, I'm sure somebody will let me know down below. I always have somebody let me know when I ask that. I don't know what my child is talking about right now. I don't know why I'm having problems, like, putting my drills back into the containers today. This color is so pretty, by the way. It is 647. It's, like, very sage green. I like it. I like it a lot. So, anyway, that was Friday. And then we went for acai bowls for dinner, which if you don't know what an acai bowl is, acai berries are like one of those like superfoods. And they're almost like blueberries. And they have... Ooh, that didn't come off my drill.
You know what I want for dinner again?
Acai bowls? That was such a good dinner, too.
Yeah, like
so, my husband was like, I'm not really in the mood for, like, food right now, but I could totally go for some, like, fruit, something super refreshing. And I was like, well, why don't we go get some acai bowls? So, the acai bowl is this pureed fruit base, which is typically acai, but you can have an acai or a smoothie bowl that has a different base as well. Like, they make multiple ones. So, we found a place about 40 minutes away. And we went, and I had one that was like a mango pineapple base. He had one that was a dragon fruit base. She had the acai base. And then it's just loaded with fresh fruit on top. And this place, you can customize it. You can add things, take off things. You can put in additional fruit. You can swap the fruit for different fruit. But it was just something very like light and refreshing. It's almost like, I was trying to explain it to my dad, and I kept calling it like really like, it was almost like a healthy ice cream. It's not creamy, but it's like a smoothie base, and it's thicker, like a milkshake consistency or soft serve ice cream consistency. But I don't know. It was really good. It was really, really good. And we enjoyed it, and my daughter enjoyed it. And then on the other side of the parking lot, there was a Royal Farms gas station. Now, if you have them near where you live, let me know. Does yours have a chicken in front, or a rooster, I guess? Because ours did. And I have never been to a Royal Farms, but apparently, like, they are super well known for having, like, amazing fried chicken, which I know what you're thinking, like, fried chicken from a gas station? Yep. So she's sitting there, and all she's talking about is she wants to go to the gas station. And I'm like, Briar, like, why do you want to go? And she's like, I want to go to the store and buy some gas for the car. And I was like, well, I appreciate that, but our tank is already full. And then she's like, I want to go over there and get some chicken. And she just kept saying it like that over and over and over again, which, needless to say, had me laughing very, very hard. Now, coincidentally, in order to get out of the acai parking lot, you had to drive through the gas station parking lot. So she won that battle. But she was so excited, and they had this giant rooster on the outside. She was like, oh my God. She was so excited. It was so funny. It's so weird what kids like gravitate towards, because who's really thinking about a gas station as like a cool place to go? But anyway, so we did that, and then we came home, and it was time for bed, and then she was mad because she did not want to go to bed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm good. I thought I had my colors in the wrong place. I did not. Where did that A go? I just put this away. See, this is my problem. I put a color away, and then I still need it for, like, one. I don't know what my kid is talking about, but she's very adamant right now. She's having a full conversation with herself. I don't know if you guys can hear her, but... I mean, I know you can hear her, but I don't know if you can understand her. I am almost done this section. What did I say? Under an hour? Yeah, of course. So I will pull the canvas up and shift her in a moment here. So anyway, we did that for Friday. And then, actually, I am going to, because I don't want to make you guys dizzy, I'm going to pull up this section here, and I'm going to shift the camera over, and I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, I figured that was easier than moving the camera around while I was filming, because I know some people get a little sensitive to that. Of course, now you guys are going to see my arm all up in the camera. You know. Anyway, so I'm going to pull this up. You guys, this is such a cute canvas. I can't get over how cute this is. I've been loving this too. Although I can't wait to get to their actual faces, which is literally like right above where I'm done this section. Because I want to see how the rendering translated. They're very cute. Which they should be, because that's what they're called, like besties. But I just want to make sure that they translate well. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so, yep, of course, child. I don't know what she's saying. But if you guys see my, what are these called? Release paper at all, I sometimes put it down just so I can rest my hand or my arm so I don't stick into the the glue, or the adhesive, I should say, because not everything I do is poured glue. Although, most of it is because I have a preference. I feel like we all have a preference. Anyway, so that was my week. And then Saturday, I participated in the DP Sparkle-a-thon, or Sparkle-a-thon. I keep calling it a Sparkle-a-thon, which if you don't know what that is, it is a charity-a-thon, like Jerry Lee Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis? Yeah. And
Jerry Lee Lewis is the same.
Oh yeah, Jerry Lewis. Guys, sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. Totally different people. And I raised money for coping with laryngomalacia, which is my solid go-to anytime I have any kind of charity or fundraiser event going on. And we got the numbers in today. This doesn't include people like me. Like, I can't see how much was donated because I didn't have a personal link. I just used the link to directly donate to them. But over $1,000 had been raised over the 2-day thon that went on. I was super, super, super excited to be a part of it and completely honored that I was asked if I was interested in it. When I joined in, there was not a lot of time slots left. So I was super thankful that not only did I get a time slot that I liked, that worked with my kiddo's schedule, but I got a time slot that didn't require my husband to take the kiddo and have like one-on-one time with her. Not that that's a bad thing, but you know, I don't want to sacrifice a chunk of my day when my kid's awake and she can't. I feel like I'm explaining this poorly. I was very thankful that I wasn't taking time away from my family to do this. Is that a better way? I feel like that was a terrible way to explain it. But anyway, I did mine.
It sounds like you don't trust me.
No, not at all. Of course I do. And they actually pulled up my video. I started at 1:30 my time, Eastern Standard Time. And my slot was 1:30 to 3. And my kiddo goes down around 1:30. So they actually watched a little bit of it, and so she got to see mommy on the TV, which she thought was really cool. And then after, when I saw her, she's like, "Mommy, you did a really good job," which, you know, makes my heart melt, because last week she told me that I could be a very good mommy, but I'm not. So, oh, how the tides have turned. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. That was my very first solo live here on YouTube. So for everyone who joined me on that, I cannot thank you guys enough. If you found me through that, let me know down below. I got a bunch of new people here, so I guess I should have said this earlier in the video. Like, if you are new here, hi, welcome. You guys, I'm always a mess. I'm all over the place. Always, always, always. So, but if you guys are returning, welcome back. But I love doing stuff to help build up the community. And unfortunately, like any thing that you do in this world, there are like weird cliques, and you know, I really just try to interact with people that, well, engage, first of all. Like, I was in Christy's live, which, by the way, the time of me filming this, all but the last, I think, 2 lives on Saturday, I at the very least popped in to say hello and offer my support. Which I think is important, because even though we each had our own individual time slot, or some people shared their time slot or had people join them for their time, it's still something, a community event, and it's good to show your support to those who are also participating. And I got to meet tons of new creators, or new to me creators, or creators I had heard of but never had an opportunity to watch, or whatever it may be. And it was really, for me, as like real life Lindsay, not necessarily Life with Lindsay, it was a really cool opportunity to be included in this and to get to engage with all these people that I had no idea that they knew who I was. Or, you know, like, I had somebody say to me, like, "Well, everybody knows who you are." And I was like, "What? I feel like nobody knows who I am." You guys. So for those who know who I am, you guys are awesome. It still kind of blows my mind when I think about the amount of people that like tune in to see what I'm up to on a regular basis. It's very humbling to say the least. So I was super, super excited to be a part of it. I don't know how many more times I can say that. I know that there is a pretty big live schedule that happens on YouTube, and because I'm not really part of that, I didn't realize how many people go live normally, like on the weekends. So for people who do this on a weekly basis, you guys are amazing. I go live a lot on Instagram, and I do pre-recorded videos multiple times a week on YouTube, but I never really thought of myself as that person who would go live all the time on YouTube. But if you guys enjoyed that, let me know, and maybe I can find a spot and do it again. I think my biggest problem with going live on YouTube versus Instagram is that when I go live on Instagram, I never schedule it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go live, and then I'm live. And then if you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. As much as I would love my life to be more organized, I've been trying for 30-something years and epically failing. So, I don't think it'll change right now. I mean, I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks, but if it's a skill I've been trying to master and epically failing year after year, I don't think it's going to change today. But it was so much fun, and I was so over the moon to see how many people showed up, how many people were engaging with it, how many people are still continuing to watch it. I don't know if I can leave the playlist in the eye. I will try to do that. I think I shouldn't have a problem, but I'll leave that up in the eye. I will also leave it in the description box if you want to see it. It's also a really great way, like if you're just trying to like sit and get lost in diamond paint, just start at the very first one and let it like play its way through. So later today, like when I'm done this, I am going to watch a little bit of the remaining ones I didn't see from Saturday, and then pop into the ones from Sunday. And I didn't get to watch any of them live on Sunday. Actually, I got to see the very first one because I was up at 6 in the morning because we had a very busy day on Sunday. So Sunday, we drove down to where my parents live, which is about an hour and a half away. And then they treated our family, my husband, my daughter, and I, and themselves, to Disney on Ice. And I will do my best to put a couple photos in here. I would love to put some of the videos that I took, but I know Disney will come after you for things, and I don't really want, something to happen to my YouTube channel because I used something that had 10 seconds of audio that didn't belong to me. Maybe you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to upload a clip. I'll upload it here. Well, as soon as I'm done talking, but, I'll mute the audio, and then I'll just put like regular music behind it. Like stuff I would use for a time lapse. So I will enter that here. So we have Coco here. The entire performance was done with black lights. You can see here there is an aerialist. There are two of them. This one was the one in the neon yellow. And there's Coco, or Miguel, the lead of Coco. So when she climbed up onto that T-shaped pole, whatever you want to call it, we watched as the entire dress was wrapped around her body. Oh, and here are the really large ones. You'll see in a moment that they're operated by multiple people. But the aerialist climbed up onto that bar and threw the dress off the shoulders and let it hang down and strapped their thighs to the pole, and that was it. So here you can see the operators, if you will, of the really large Day of the Dead characters. This wasn't shot in the right size, so sorry about that, but there you go. It was gorgeous. I loved it. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. I loved the show. Like, I loved the show. I have never been to Disney on Ice. I think I had seen an Ice Capade show as a child, but Disney on Ice was like a totally different beast to me, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. And like I thought it was going to be like this. Okay, it'll be fine. My kid will enjoy it. I loved it. Like I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I grew up on all of those classic 90s Disneys. So your Beauty and the Beast, your Aladdin, your Little Mermaid, Ursula is the best villain. Fight me on that. And I was singing along to all of those songs, and I was blown away at the aerial, the acrobatics that was in this show. I was not expecting that. The performance from Coco was probably my favorite visually to watch, because they had a skater on stilts, they had black lights, they had aerialists, they had so much going on. And I can't even describe to you guys. The whole time I felt like I was watching it with my jaw open. My daughter her eyeballs were as big as saucers the entire time. She loved every single minute of it. It also had some newer Disney, so Moana, Coco, Frozen, like everybody in the place was singing. The entire room was singing Let It Go. And then my mom's like, who is the person? And I was like, Adina Menzel. She's like, okay, thank you. I loved it. I loved it. There were people on trampolines. You guys, this was a thing that I was nervous to take my daughter to see, because I have a toddler who, you know, long shows where you have to sit in one place are not necessarily very conducive for small children. She did like fantastic. I can't even begin to tell you guys how well behaved she was, like for her age. Of course, she got out of her seat quite a few times, but she loved it. She loved, you could see the music and the ice skating. So my dad decided to get her tickets, because not only does she love like Disney characters, and it was Mickey and Minnie, Goofy and Donald. I don't know if you guys have ever taken notice to this, but there is like, I'm going to start like a conspiracy theory here. Does anybody know why Daisy Duck is very rarely included in group activities? And I'm not asking this because I have an answer. I'm legitimately asking because I'd like an answer. I don't know why. There's so many toys that are available for Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and sometimes even Pluto, and then Daisy won't be included. Or a lot of things that have to do with like the Happy Helpers. It'll be like Minnie and Cuckoo Loca, or Minnie and Clarabelle, but like, where's Daisy? I used to really not like Daisy, and then I realized I think it's because I'm a lot like Daisy. I don't know. But I would like to know why Daisy is like the bastard stepchild of Disney. I really would like to know. So if anybody has any theories on that or facts on that, please let me know down below. I am dead serious on this. But it was fantastic. I can't stop raving about it. My daughter loved seeing the ice skating aspect of it, and then she loved seeing all the people in the costumes. Some of the costumes were like blow you away fantastic. The costume for Maui from Moana literally looked like somebody bought a Halloween costume and then ice skated in it. But Moana had a boat, you guys. She had a freaking boat on the ice. How was it controlled? I have no idea. You guys, I am almost 40 years old, and I'm sitting over here like, how did they do this? Like, I have no idea. There were people on trampolines, people on scooters, people just dancing, flipping. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. This also might speak to how little I've done in the last like year and a half, that Disney on Ice is like the biggest highlight. Not the biggest, but oh my God, I forgot to talk about Wednesday. Wednesday's when we went to Cherry Crest. Whoops. But anyway, that was, you guys, it was amazing. If you have an opportunity to go to Disney on Ice, I would highly recommend it. It does have flashing lights and things like that. So if you are sensitive to things like that, or you are prone to seizures, I would keep that in mind. I am not in any way, shape, and form being compensated for this. Like, I just legitimately loved every minute of it. It was so exciting. And I would absolutely go again. And my dad hired a driver. My parents are a little bit older. And I have a car that does seat that many people. But if you've ever been in an SUV, like a normal size SUV that has a third row, your third row gives you like 3 inches of leg room. So we ended up, I brought a second car seat with us, which, let me tell you, is a very daunting task to install a car seat while a group of adults are standing there watching you do it. I think my husband did a pretty good job of like making sure that like my mother wasn't hovering over me while I was doing it. But they were talking to the driver for a while, and he was a super nice guy. And he basically like spent most of his day just sitting around waiting for us. Like it wasn't really spent, you know, driving. Because yes, we went to, did you just burn yourself? Okay, so that was not good. You know, he waited in the parking lot while we watched the show and then came back to pick us up. And then he drove us to lunch and sat in the parking lot while we ate lunch. And it was a fantastic day. We love being able to spend individual time with the grandparents. It makes them happy to spend time with their granddaughter. It makes us happy to see her spending that time with her grandparents. And each grandparent does something different and unique with her. And I was super, super thankful and, grateful that we could do this. I was a little bit nervous being indoors with that many people, but I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I'm sure their box office didn't appreciate it, but there were a lot, I keep hitting the camera. There were a lot of seats that, were not sold. And I mean, I think that's kind of to be expected. We are still in the midst of a pandemic. I hate saying in the middle of a pandemic because I feel like I've been saying in the middle of a pandemic for a year, and yet we're not in the middle of it because, bless you. Oh. My daughter definitely just sneezed. I don't know if you guys could tell that. And then I just said, bless you. She's not here. She's just on the baby monitor. Story of my life. But at least, you know, I'm polite sometimes. But Sunday was fantastic. I loved every single minute of it. You guys, I'm going to just sit here and continue to just gush about it. But it was great. And I was a little bit nervous about eating indoors. I have my hesitations with just eating out in public with my child in general because she's 3 and she wants to roam. She doesn't want to sit. She wants to touch everything on the table. She wants to knock everything off the table. She wants to get up and walk around. The restaurant we went to had music playing, so she was literally dancing in the middle of the restaurant. Now, granted, we were, no exaggeration, the only people in the restaurant. Probably because we were eating lunch at 2 o'clock, although we were in a college town, which is not where my parents live, but it's not that far. And they had an option for outdoors, but their outdoor seating was very open, and that's another thing. If I'm planning to take my child to eat at an outdoor restaurant and it leads right to their parking lot and it's not really roped off or anything like that, that's a safety hazard for my child. I think a lot of people think of these things when they're in that situation, but, you know, if it was just my husband and I, like, I could care less what the outdoor section looked like. I wouldn't want to eat in one of those bubbles that's basically an enclosed outdoor section, because why not just eat inside at that point? But anyway, we loved it. We had a fantastic time. My kiddo was pretty good. We didn't get home till almost 6 o'clock last night. Did we have dinner last night? Oh yeah, she had one of those instant like Easy Mac cups, and promptly watched her one Mickey episode and then went to bed. And I put her down. No, you put her down. Yep. He puts her down. He does the nighttime routine. I tried to take her to put her down because I don't know. But we have a pretty good thing going in terms of like our routine. But anyway, he put her down. I came upstairs. I took a nice relaxing bath. My bathtub is like one of those jacuzzi style tubs, and it is my happy place. Like, I love, I know some people are like, oh, I don't like taking a bath because I don't feel clean. But like, I was literally just sitting in it to relax. Like, I wasn't starting my day. I was ending my day. So, I mean, take from that what you will. But I Sat in the tub. I soaked for a little bit. I watched another one of the YouTube videos from the playlist, and then I played on my phone for a little bit, and then I went to bed like 9 o'clock. I don't remember actually falling asleep, but I remember my husband coming up and then turning off the lights and setting the alarm, and then me realizing, oh shit, I brought my phone with us to my parents' house, and my phone charger, I should say, and my charger was still in my bag, and so here I am totally like delirious, and my husband ran downstairs to get my charger. I remember plugging in my phone and then waking up this morning. So I was tired, and I'm very thankful that I have a child who, like, once she goes to sleep, she sleeps well. And I know that if you guys have been around for any length of time, you're probably like, your kid actually sleeps, because during nap time, she's always awake. And every once in a while, we'll just get those days where she actually naps and goes to sleep, and that's it. But most of the time, it is not that. So, highly recommend. I think it was officially called, like, Mickey's Search Party. The premises and the storyline of it was pretty shit, but the actual show and performance of it was absolutely fantastic, and I would 100% do it again. I know that now that my parents realize my daughter is super obsessed with Paw Patrol, I know that if a Paw Patrol on Ice comes around, my dad's gonna be like, hey, do you guys want to go see that? Which I'm not gonna lie, I don't know that I would enjoy Paw Patrol nearly as much as Disney on Ice. I do want to say a special shout out to whoever portrayed the role of Ham from Toy Story, which, if you're not familiar with Toy Story, it is the piggy bank. Andy's toys all come alive when he's not around. So you know those inflatable suits they have? There's a lot of dinosaur ones, which Rex was also in one of the inflatable ones. But this is somebody who has to be pretty small. And the back legs were portrayed by a human. And I think, from what I could tell, which I'll insert that clip, I think, if I can, right here as well. But that person, it looked like, in order for the front paws to be down on the ice, they had to lean over. So I am guessing that this person had to spend much of Disney on Ice performing hunched over. I mean, not that Disney on Ice section, like the Toy Story part, was very long. But, I mean, I wouldn't want to ice skate in a non-upright position. You know what I mean? Like, that just seems like a recipe for disaster, which, for me, would definitely be a recipe for disaster. But yeah, I mean, I think this might be a good place to stop. I only have a small section left of this color here. But, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep going. I got a few more minutes. As if I have, like, a clock on my back saying, get off, get off, get off, or keep going, keep going. But it was fantastic, you guys. I loved it. My father enjoyed it. My father, I don't know how many of these Disney movies he's ever actually seen. Like, my mom and dad, I'm sure, took us to see them in theaters as kids. But my dad is one of those people, he's still like this. It doesn't matter if he was dying to see that show, performance, whatever it is. The second it starts, my dad is out. Like, so I said to my mom, I would recommend you watch Coco. I think it'll be lost on Dad, because I think if he falls asleep, he's going to be confused. The premise of any of that, not that Coco isn't fantastic, which, if you have not seen Coco, it is a beautiful film. It is all about the Day of the Dead and family, and it's very, very, it's a beautiful story. And I think my mom would enjoy that immensely. But I'm done ranting and raving about this. You guys, it was incredible. I will try to post some photos on my Instagram. If you guys do not follow me on Instagram, make sure you do so. All of my information is always linked down below. I also have a Facebook group, so if that's your thing, come and join us. I think that's all I've got for you guys for this one. I totally forgot to talk about the whole Cherry Crest Farm, so maybe I'll make another video soon talking about that. That was a fantastic experience. Like I said, we had a super, super busy week. As always, it is greatly, greatly appreciated that each and every one of you take time out of your day to come and join me. I from the bottom of my heart, I feel like I say this every time, and I'm sure somebody thinks it sounds disingenuous, and it is not. I really, really appreciate it. And I can't thank you guys enough for all of your continued love and support. So if you have made it this far, please let me know, what is your favorite Disney movie or song? Song from a movie works too. Thank you guys so much for being here. Before you leave, if you could give this video 2 thumbs up. 1 real life, 1 virtual. Sorry, that was really, really loud. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, make sure you hit that notification bell.
Ding.
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time. I record while she is sleeping, or today, like today, sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys!